Hello, thank you so much for watching my video lecture. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Bintu Sanlai. Currently, I've been studying the Master of Business Administration at Jacob University, Singapore. Now, I'm gonna make the presentation about the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. It is also one of the members of ASEAN communities. Unfortunately, the country is still an underdeveloped nation because of the political intrigues among the ethnic group, natural disaster, poor governance, corruption, inadequate infrastructure, and unfavorable economic structure. Myanmar is the second largest country in Southeast Asia. It has an area over 676,000 square kilometers. Well, the neighboring countries of Myanmar are China, India, Laos, Thailand, and Bangladesh. Next, I want to highlight about the geographic location of the Myanmar. In east, there are Laos and Thailand. In west, there are Bangladesh and Bay of Bengal. India is in the northwest and China is in the north. The capital is Naypyidaw, that is also known as an administrative capital of Myanmar. Then, Yangon is the largest commercial city. Once, it used to be the capital of Myanmar. Most of the people are Buddhists and they are strongly believe in Buddhism. The official language is Burmese, but there are other recognized regional languages. Well, the country population is approximately over 54 million, and there are also distinguished ethnic groups, namely Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Bama, Mon, Rakhine, Shan. The GDP growth rate of Myanmar for 2015 was 7.2%, and the main export of the country was timber, jade, gems, rice, oil, and natural resources. The country was once ruled by the Britain from 1824 to 1886. At that time, Myanmar's social, economic, cultural, and administrative affairs were significantly controlled by the British rule. In 1948, Myanmar became independent republic from the British Commonwealth. Starting from 1962 to 2010, Myanmar was governed by the military government. Well, the first military ruler was General Ne Win. He was also a self-appointed president and resigned in 1988. During this year, thousands of students led protests and people were killed in anti-government riots. In 2011, former Prime Minister U Thein Sein had become a new president of the country. During 2011 to 2015, there were a series of political, economic, and administrative reforms in Myanmar that led to a substantial opening of the long isolated country. Well, these reforms include the institution of the new label, reducing restriction on the freedom of the press, association and civil society, establishment of the National Human Rights Commission, signing a nationwide ceasefire with the local ethnic groups. The most significant reforms were the release of the pro-democracy leader Daw Aung San Suu Kyi from house arrest and hundreds of the political prisoners as part of the general amnesty. In 2012, Aung San Suu Kyi Party National League for Democracy participated in by-election and won 41 out of 44 of the contested seats, and she had become the seat representing Komu constituency in the lower house of the Myanmar parliament. Moreover, Aung San Suu Kyi was elected to the national legislature and became chair of the Committee for Rule of Law and Tranquility. In 2015, largely credible national legislative election was held with more than 90 political parties. Well, NLD again won a landslide victory, taking 86% seat in the Assembly of the Union to form a government. Using its overwhelming majority in both houses of the parliament, the NLD elected U Tin Jaw as the first elected civilian non-military president after 53 years of the military rule in March 2016. The first vice president is U Min Sui and the second vice president is U Henry Van Thuai. Besides, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi served as a state councillor, minister for foreign affairs and minister for the office of the president. So, the Aung San Suu Kyi democracy movement takes power after 50 years of the military domination. The country is governed as a parliamentary system with the national legislature, Pirazu Luto. It is made up of the two legislative chambers, namely the 440-seat Pidu Luto. It is also known as the People Assembly, the lower house. Then the 224-seat Myota Luto. It is also called the National Assembly, the upper house. Moreover, the cabinet is appointed by the president and it is subjected to approval by the national legislative bodies. Well, we may vividly see that there were some economic changes since the transition to a civilian government in 2011. US agreed to reduce some of its restrictions. The former President U Tae Se made some economic reforms, such as granting the central bank operational independence and adding a new anti-corruption law in 2013. Moreover, the government commitments to reform and the subsequent easing of Western sanctions led to the accelerated growth in 2013 and 2014. In 2015, the growth slowed because of the political uncertainty in election year. Summer flood and external factors, including the China slowdown and lower commodity prices. Anyhow, there are a lot of requirements for the country economy's development because of the Myanmar was once under the rule of the bad military government for 50 years and it needs a lot of time to be a developed country in Asia. Myanmar economy is accelerating to grow well in 2016, although the country faced with natural disasters such as flooding and political errors in the past. Moreover, the economic trend is leading to the upward trend because of the recovery in the agriculture and development in the foreign direct investment. In reality, high inflation, wide fiscal and external defeat are major challenges for the new presidents and the union government. Moreover, upgrading the transportation system is one of the long-term challenges. This country also needs to focus on the education and training. These are the major problems for the foreign countries which are still operating in Myanmar. Well, Myanmar GDP growth rate declined to 7.2 in 2015 fiscal year because of the widespread flooding and the landslide. Besides, 2015 GDP rate was more lower than 2013 and 2014 GDP rate. But GDP rate from 2016 may be 8.4. Then Myanmar is still underdeveloped in infrastructure, especially in transportation, and it needs approximately 60 billion US dollar to invest in transportation system. The current economy of Myanmar can be analyzed by using the SWOT analysis. The strength of the country are young labor force, abundant natural resources, investment opportunities, and strategic geographic location. On the other hand, the weakness of the country are low industrialization, highly rely on the agriculture, and the development and no transparent economic policy. The opportunities are Myanmar is situated between China and India, and so it has the big neighbor market. Moreover, Myanmar has the logistic base to connect East with South Asia. In contrary, the threats were low in economic freedom, political uncertainty, and lack of the transparency in legal system. Myanmar macroeconomic challenges are to maintain fiscal stability and to take more proactive role in the inflation management. It will require strengthening the authority and tools available to the Central Bank of Myanmar and to build up the international support to create the buffer in case of the external shock. Besides, exchange rate should be flexible to enable the economy to be more responsive to international shock and not to draw down international reserve. In reality, government has not enough tools to control inflation. Presently, there is no serious public debt because of the Asian Development Bank has been working together with the Minister of Finance to enhance the public debt management unit and public debt management law. Anyhow, government should take the proactive action such as identifying the private sector sources of funding for the some infrastructure improvement that doesn't affect the public debt. In reality, Myanmar has weakness in legal framework and having two different investment laws for foreign investors. There are confusion and difficulties in the investment environment in the country. Myanmar Investment Commission (MIC) said that the country new investment law, which merged two laws into one that is targeted to get approval at the new parliament in 2016 to create a better investment environment. Moreover, we hope that a coming new investment law will attract more foreign investors that will create very easier access to investment in Myanmar. MIC believes this new law will support to exceed the target foreign investment amount $6 billion for 2015 and 2016 fiscal year. Well, living standards have not improved for the majority of the people residing in the rural areas. Moreover, Myanmar remains one of the poorest countries in Asia. Approximately 26% of the country's 51 million people live in poverty. The previous military government's isolationist policies and the economic mismanagement had left the country with the underdeveloped human resources, poor infrastructure, inadequate access to the capital, which will require a major commitments to resolve. Besides, the former military government was very slow in implementation of the economic development, such as insecure land right, a restricted trade licensing system, an opaque revenue collections, and inadequate banking system. Anyhow, hopefully believe that the new government led by Aung San Suu Kyi will likely focus on the accelerating agricultural productivity, land reforms, modernizing and opening the financial sector, and improving fiscal management. That's all from my video lecture on the business, governmental, economic environment of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.